Hello everyone, I wanted to create this quick hit surrounding your poem project, which is due late next week. I wanted to create this because during my mini-master course a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago, there was some confusion surrounding this poem project. So I'm creating this in order to answer any questions or hopefully clear up some stuff. And if you still have questions, don't be afraid to send me an email about the poem project. First things first. This poem project is about emotions. Chapter 7 is dealing with emotions, and it's important for us to understand specific emotions and be able to express those emotions in order to have a meaningful interpersonal relationship. Sometimes in our interpersonal relationships, whether that's with family, friends, or your significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, boyfriend, boyfriend, girlfriend, girlfriend, some of you have issues expressing the specific emotion that you feel. From what I've gathered since I started doing this assignment, students have looked at this assignment as almost like a release. They finally got to release some of the emotions that they wanted to tell a certain person that for some reason they just didn't, and this poem project allowed them to do that. One of the things I also get from students is they say, Professor Stewart, I'm not an artist. I don't know how to write a poem, things of that nature. And my first response to that is, yes, you do. That's the beauty of poetry, is that anything can be considered poetry. We learned in middle school, or at least I learned in middle school, poetry can follow a certain type of format. It could be A, B, A, B, A, B, C, A, B, C, or it could be free verse. There's a multitude of ways that you could write a poem. It doesn't necessarily have to, you don't have to be a slam poet, you don't have to be an actor. Anything can be considered poetry. So you're picking some sort of emotion, whether that's happiness, sadness, frustration, anger, bitterness, jealousy, whatever have you, whatever emotion you're feeling about a particular topic or toward a certain person, you're selecting that particular emotion. Here are some examples right here of students, topics that students have selected in my class in the past. Most students, and this is an unscientific poll, most students in my courses have written about an ex-boyfriend or an ex-girlfriend, and if you want to get even further, about a cheating ex. There have been some poems I thought people were going to throw chairs across the room. They were so angry and they were happy that they got to write this poem. I've had students write about being lonely, being depressed. One of the saddest poems I've ever heard a student write was about her cat, and then she explained all the fantastic things about her cat, and then she ended the poem by saying her cat's her only friend. It was by far the saddest poem I have ever heard. But it doesn't have to be deep and dark. That's the confusion that we had last semester that I want to clear up. You can write about some deep, dark, I hate to use the word dark, but some deep emotion, some deep self-disclosure. You can write about that if that's the emotion you're feeling and that's the emotion you want to release, and that's the emotion and the poem that you're writing that you're okay with the rest of the class reading. You can write about that if you want, but you don't have to. This could be a superficial, I hate to use that phrase too, but it could be a superficial emotion. If you're just happy that the summer is here, if you're excited about transferring to whatever four-year university you're transferring to, if you want to write about your puppy, you got a new puppy, things of that nature, it's totally fine. The point of this assignment is you're just picking some sort of emotion. So remember, chapter 7, 8, and 9, we're starting to get into the deep stuff about relationships. We're starting to get into self-disclosure, about specific emotions that we need to communicate. It doesn't have to be a deep self-disclosure, but you are welcome to do that. So you're going to write your poem in a Word document. On the second page of the Word document, so the first page of the Word document is your poem. On the second page, you're answering all three of these questions. Okay, so you're uploading that Word document with the poem and the answer to all three of these questions to the Dropbox. Keep in mind, the responses to all three of these questions should not just be one or two sentences. Okay, so just be aware of that. After you do that, you'll come back to this discussion board and you will upload your poem and you will upload all three questions again. I'm sorry. You'll only upload questions number 1 and number 2. So for the Dropbox, you're uploading the poem, you're answering questions 1, 2, and that should be 3 right here. But on the discussion board, you're only answering questions one. You're only posting or pasting your answers for questions number 1 and number 2. So when you look at these instructions, you're writing your poem, a minimum of 25 lines. You're uploading your poem, lines, I think I said lines. Lines. You're uploading your poem to the discussion board, including a copy of your poem to the Poem Project Dropbox. You're answering the questions above. You need to respond to at least 2 other poems of your classmates in this class. And the final instruction is just to reflect. And students are often confused by this, and I say you're overthinking it. When I say reflect, just reflect on how you feel about writing that poem and how it felt to get whatever you got out for other people. So I have uploaded this discussion board. We'll click that away. I have uploaded this discussion board for you all to put your poems in there. But I've also uploaded a PDF file, and this particular PDF file, you really only need to pay attention to the first part if you have any questions. So all of this is uploaded under the Content tab of D2L. You'll see a copy of the Dropbox, that PDF file, as well as a link to this particular discussion board. And if you have any questions, do not be afraid to contact me. This is one of my favorite assignments of the semester, so I cannot wait to read all of your poems. If you have any questions, please don't be afraid to contact me. And remember, this is a pass-fail assignment. You get a lot of pass-fail assignments at four-year institutions. This is one for this class, meaning if you have everything that I've asked for in the instructions and you do this project correctly, you're going to make 100, guaranteed. If you're just missing one of them, or you don't do one thing correctly, and where most students don't do one thing correctly is they just answer this with just one sentence, you'll get a 0. Do everything correctly, it's a 100. Do just one thing incorrectly, it's an automatic 0. This should be a straight 100 for everyone. So if you have any questions, just please let me know.